So we need to put a little disclosure at the beginning of this podcast. So we're going to show you a sneaky little trick that John King uses to consume podcast information, but you can't use that sneaky information on this podcast because on this podcast we want you to lean in, we want you to watch, we want you to savor every moment. So anyway, how you doing, John?
I'm great, Carl. How are you?
Another beautiful day in paradise. So, John, you've been on. We've done one of these before, right?
This is our third.
This I thought, yeah. So, just in case somebody didn't hear the first two, which that would be a shocker, right? Because we assume everybody listens to every episode, takes notes, and everything. But just real quick, broker, banker, loan officer, branch manager, where you at?
Banker, branch manager, Northern California, Sacramento market. Been with my current company for going on 15 years and been in the industry
Wow.
for 26.
Yeah, and you work with a dear friend of mine, Mr. Todd Scream, I hear.
I do. I
Yeah,
do.
Todd's a great guy, man. So I met Todd. Todd actually came to one of our Freedom Club events. Uh, gosh, I'm horrible at time. 6 or 7 years ago, something like that. And that is one smart dude.
Can I tell you a quick story?
Tell me a quick story.
So, first of all, I met Todd the first time in 2007 when
Okay.
subprime had crashed, and I
Yep.
turned him down. And I came back and I met him for the second time April 1st of 2011.
Okay.
That was the day Dodd-Frank launched.
Ah.
And I didn't know Todd very well. I didn't know Jimmy at all. And all I know is Todd walks into the meeting, he's laughing, he goes, "Jimmy really got me this morning." I said, who's Jimmy and what do you mean?" And he goes, "Man, he texted me at 6 o'clock this morning and said, 'Hey Todd, great news. They rolled back Dodd-Frank.'" He's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, they rolled back Dodd-Frank. It's not launching." He said, "It took me an hour to realize it was April Fool's Day."
Ah. Yeah, that was a dirty trick. So, all right.
Yes.
Hey, so you last time we talked, you said, "Oh, by the way, I do this thing." I said, "Whoa. Let's do a podcast episode on that." So look, and I said the little disclosure in the beginning. There's some really good podcasts here, and not just in this community of the mortgage professionals, but other podcasts that I enjoy listening
Uh-huh.
to. And
Mhm.
and frankly, some of them I do enjoy listening to each and every word, so to speak, because I enjoy the mannerisms and the way it's presented sometimes, right? And then sometimes I just want the information.
Yep.
And so I think there's a place for those. So you use a clever tool that you can gain the information from multiple podcasts in a very short amount of time. How do you do it?
Yeah. So, first of all, I listen to a majority of the podcasts. I believe we learn through multiple modalities.
Hmm.
So, I take lots of notes in every meeting that I'm in. I almost never read them again, but it's the action of writing that imprints it.
For
And
sure.
so this is, for me, this is just a second way to digest information.
Yeah.
Now there are times that I'll just skip the podcast and go straight to this hack, and it's really really simple. Almost every podcast out there also puts a copy onto YouTube. And Google Gemini, being part of the Google ecosystem, has a direct connection to YouTube. And so I literally will listen to a podcast and say, you know what, especially if there's a lot of detail. I dove in feet first into AI when ChatGPT launched 3 years ago. And I'm building a lot of things and I'm learning and I'm championing AI in lots of different ways within the organization. And so I listen to a lot of podcasts that are teaching me things I have no clue what they're talking about. And so I'll listen, but I won't be able to write down the structure. I won't be able to write down the questions I have. And so I'll take a screenshot of just what my iPhone says, because that's got all the content right there. And I simply paste that screenshot into Google Gemini and say, find this podcast on YouTube and give me a complete breakdown. It's that simple.
Wow. So okay, wait. So like let's say like when I go on my bike ride every morning, I listen to podcasts. So probably about 3 hours a day, I'm listening to podcasts. So one I always catch, and I really enjoy it. My buddy Chris Johnstone does one, and it's called Loan Officer Marketing, and he goes a little bit more into the tech than what sometimes I do, and I learn a lot from him, right? So I would go into Gemini and I would just say, hey, and I'm just looking at episode here. Hey, on Loan Officer Marketing Podcast, they did an episode of 12/23, 2025. Find it and then give me the notes on it.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's it. I will often direct it then. Like and I don't know how far you want to go into the how I think about AI, but I think AI, you have to give it context because AI is the smartest brain in the world. But you ever talk to somebody really, really smart, Carl, and they're just kind of clueless about how things really work in practice?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So AI is that way. And if you don't give it, I think of it like a funnel. Well, I want to direct AI into put the information in the funnel that I want it to think about, but I want it to be broad. So hey, just ingest this podcast. Start there. I know that I actually want to hone in on about halfway through. He mentioned something about a process that he follows that he uses to follow up on his realtors. And I need the exact step-by-step recipe that he used, but I go in layers. So I don't dive straight into, hey, find this podcast and tell me that answer. Because I find that AI, if you preload it with context, and in this case, the context being the full podcast, just say, digest this podcast and give me a summary. Now I can drill in. I'll scan the summary. But if I've listened to it already, I know what I want out of it. And I'll actually ask it then to create a, a, a game plan. So, for example, if Chris Johnstone outlined, hey, here's the process and here's what I use and here's the 7 steps, then in the end, I'm going to say, hey, knowing what you know about me, which is awesome because AI has memory. And if you use the system enough, it knows a lot about you. How would you apply that 7-step process? Please write it out in a way that I can share with my team so that we can implement this right away.
Because I as you're talking and I'm listening, as you're talking, I went on to Chris's latest podcast, and at least on my phone, which is how I listen to all my podcasts, and I listen to them in uh, what's the app I'm in here? I think it's iTunes.
Hmm.
Yeah, iTunes. So I'm on iTunes, and I went to Chris Johnstone's latest podcast, which was not nearly as good as this one. Right? No, I'm just he's a great guy. And I scrolled down and I clicked on an episode, and then on that episode, I just clicked transcript. There's the whole transcript right there.
That's correct.
So could I then? I was just trying to think of another way to do this. Could I then? So in my case, I have an assistant.
Yep.
Could I tell my assistant, "Hey, here's the 7 podcasts I want you to do this with, and I want you to grab the transcript of each of these 7, once a week, twice, however often they come out, and give me put them into AI, tell them to give me the top bullet points and the top action items that I'm to do on that podcast." Because
For sure.
my suspicion is it's probably going to spit out, like, it's going to get rid of all the how you doing, how's the weather, how was your holidays, did you
Yep.
see that thing the other night on Seinfeld, like all that,
Yep.
which is interesting stuff, and I enjoy listening on podcasts to some degree, but frankly on some of them I just want the information.
Right.
I bet it'd spit out a thing of probably 8 bullet points and
Hmm.
at best one action item.
Hmm.
That's very interesting. But
Carl.
on your way though, you say you tell it, go to the episode, this episode on YouTube, because you're right, most this is on YouTube. Now, truth be known, we get about 95% listen on Slack or iTunes or whatever, and about 5% on YouTube, but it's still there, and I think
Yep.
everybody does that. So you just point yours to YouTube and just kind of bypass that assistant step.
I do. Now, I do have a decent sized team. I honestly hadn't thought about assigning it to a team member, an assistant. But the truth is, and again, I'm 7 layers deep into AI. So for those of you who are listening that are willing to go down this road, you can easily set up an AI assistant to actually go and pull all of those podcast transcripts once a week. It's not that hard. We're not going to go into the weeds of that on this podcast, but it's not hard to do. So, step one, I just use it because I listened to something that I want to implement. And for the 15 years that I've been coached, the number one thing that I've seen making a difference to myself and to my students is implementing quickly. And when you hear something, take action. Well, there's so many darn good ideas that people have out there. The truth is, there's so few that are actually new and original, but they're all, oh man, I know I should have done that. And this gives me a way to create a quick follow-up plan that now I can take that output and send it to my team because I know I'm not going to implement it if I don't give it to somebody else and have them hold me accountable. So I will grab it, I will ask it some questions, and then I'll just copy the output and send it to my team and say, hey, in our next marketing meeting, we need to dive into this.
I love that. So Denny over here will not be happy to know that you have an AI assistant that would tell Gemini to go download these 7 podcasts and give me the notes and then it email it to me, or would I go in there and search it or
Either way, but most of the time you can set it up as just an email trigger and just say, hey, email this to me, run these podcasts, digest the information, and then email it to me on a weekly basis.
love that. Hey, I'm just going to interject. And by the way, I'm going to ask you in a minute, where would I find that AI assistant? So hang on that just a second. One thing I want to caution, because I really believe, like, my purpose of doing this podcast is to really help people be better off than they were before.
Mhm.
And I can tell you that a mistake I made early in my career is doing nothing but consuming information and frankly allowing that to be a creative avoidance from actually going out and doing the activity, from actually going out and prospecting. Because, well, I'm getting the information and telling myself that was work. And I'm not denying that it's important, but not during prospecting time, which for me is 2 hours every morning, like making outbound
Yeah.
phone calls. So, but like my Friday is the day that I work on my business. So Friday is the day I'm setting up my CRM, I'm setting up my email, I'm putting together my class, I'm teaching the realtors. I'm hooking up with John to find out what that AI assistant is. I'm getting with Chris Johnson and setting up my CRM. And so for me, this would be a great Friday activity that, hey, deliver this to me on Friday morning. And then Friday morning, I block out from 9 to 10 to
Hmm.
consume these 8 podcasts, which I could easily do in that period of time. So, hey, let me tell you about a secret little uh, a secret little trick that I use over here. So I've got a lady over here who's actually one of my partners now that I met 25 years ago, maybe something like that, 24, 23 years ago. Her name is Diane. So, boy, Diane has been my secret weapon for a long, long, long time. I didn't want to think what my business would be without her, honest to gosh. And I'm not saying it to be nice, like really.
Sure.
Yeah. She's my, maybe I ought to do a whole podcast on this. She's my director of who. Yeah.
Like Whoville? Is this like a Dr. Seuss thing?
No, but you're on the right track.
Okay.
She's my director of who. So here's the problem with listening to all these podcasts. You're going to get some good ideas, right? And you are. And then it's like, well, how do I get everything done? Let me tell you how it works in my world. I can see this right now. I'm going to read these summaries and I go, ooh, that's a great idea. Hey, Diane, I was just talking with John King. He says there's an assistant that can go grab all these podcasts and then email me the download every Friday morning at 9:30. Uh, do me a favor, get with John and get that set up for me. And dude, it's it's done.
Mhm.
And then I'm listening to another podcast and it talks about this title company strategy that we use to let title companies call their past database to see who needs refining, right?
Okay.
And I go, hey
Yeah.
Diane, I was talking with Steve Kiles and he was talking about this thing. Get with Steve, get the notes on that, assign it to Susan over here to actually call the title companies. And can you have somebody report back to me next Thursday and let me know how that's working out? And dude,
Yeah.
it's done. And
Yeah.
so, anyway, that's a whole separate topic. But I
And
call her.
she's your implementer.
She's my director of who.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dear friend Dean Jackson came up with this, and what's his name wrote a book about it. Dan Sullivan wrote a book about it called "Who Not How." Who Not How.
Okay.
So don't ask, how do you do that, John? I'll say, who, Diane. Now I'm done. Because I can do
Yeah.
how, and I go try to figure all that out, and it'll take me a couple hours or a day or two,
Yeah.
depending upon
Yeah.
how technical it is. Or I can go, who can do it, Diane, and now I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, now I can go on the next thing. So she's my director of who. So, but Diane doesn't do everything.
Yeah.
She, we call it who it out. So she'll go, Taylor can do this one, Bob can do this one, Denny can do this one, Susan can do this one, Maria can do that one, Julie can do this one,
Yeah.
Kristen can do that one. But they all go back to Diane. So I have one spot that I report
Yeah.
to, which is Diane,
Yeah.
and she's responsible. She's like the hub of the spokes on the wheel, and so she who's it out to other people. So she's my director of.
Ooh,
Isn't that clever?
I love it. I
Yeah,
love
it
it.
was.
That's awesome.
Hey, so back to the AI thing. So I'm really interested in this. So, and I know I don't want to go too much in the weeds, but this AI assistant that you're talking about that could do set all this up for me, what is that?
So, I got to be careful because I will go too far in the weeds.
Well,
I will
well,
tell
well,
you
well,
that.
if you go too far, I'll tell you to back off. But like, go, let's go a
Sure.
little ways.
So I use a system called N8N. So Nancy, the number eight, and Nancy.
Okay.
It is, it's very technical. Now my brain works that way.
Now, what is
So
N8N? Is that an AI device?
it's an app. So
Okay.
it's a web app that if anybody's heard of Zapier, Carly, ever heard of Zapier?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
So it just connects different systems together and they can kind of
Yeah,
talk to each other. N8N is Zapier on steroids. Okay. It has all the different systems talking to each other. It's got AI components built into it. You need to invest time into it. And I'll take a quick tangent and say time is our most important resource. And I agree with you 100%. So for me, I've always handled it different. I've forced myself to be a morning person. So as I'm working on projects, I'll get up at 4 in the morning and work from 4 a.m. until 7 a.m. on projects.
I get
But I'm not allowed
it.
to work on it during the business day.
No, I
So
get it. I get it. Say
that's critical.
Your Friday
Yeah.
is 4 in the morning. Yeah, I get it. Okay,
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah. So N8N has taken me a lot of time to build and to understand how to use it. So it's the Ferrari version. Okay. In Google Gemini, they have something called a gem, GEM,
Okay.
and you can create a gem that is a repeatable process, and you can kind of build mini apps in there. So that's kind of the Volkswagen version. In the middle of that, you have something called Google Opal, OPAL, that is more thorough, has a lot more automations into it. And then one that I haven't tried, but is kind of along the same lines as something called Make, MAKE. So
Okay.
all of these are tools that you're wiring together and saying, hey, step one, go out and grab the transcripts of these videos. Step two, use AI and digest those transcripts. And here's what I want you to focus on. You need to know something about me. Who am I? What do I do for a living? What do I care about? So that you can make sure this evaluation, the summary, is relevant to what I need. And then step three, send me a copy of it. And so it's that simple, but each of these tools, some like a gem in Google Gemini requires you to manually trigger it. So it's, hey, go in and run this for me, and then it'll give you the output right there on your Google Gemini screen. So that's the simplest to set up, but the least automated.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next. Wow, this is one of those things. And you really already said it. The rabbit hole goes deep here.
It does.
Um, all right, so for those that want to go deep in the woods, you've given some great information here. For those that go, hey, and we're going to title this podcast something like, how to listen and learn from 10 different podcasts without actually listening to them.
There you
This one excluded. This one excluded, right? This one excluded. Um, uh, and so if I want to do that, I can, what's go over one more time. Step one, two, three. What's the easiest way to grab these 10 podcasts?
The easiest way is the manual. Log into Google Gemini. And I love Gemini. First of all, excuse me, Google has come a long way. If you ever tried it a couple of years ago, Google was the ugly stepchild of AI. And now, in a lot of ways, it's as good or better than ChatGPT. Okay.
Okay.
So I just go into Google and say, hey, you would create a prompt. You'd create you'd write it out and you'd say, I want you to look at all of the episodes over the last 30 days of these podcasts. And so you just pre-write that and you save it as a Word document. And so that's the simplest way to do it. And then once a week, once a month, you paste that in and you say run. And it'll go out and it'll find the information and it will, again, you're just chatting with it like you're chatting with any AI. That's the first place to start. I'm going to take that back. The first place to start is just when you listen to a podcast and you like it, take a screenshot. That is where I started. That's for the most part what I do. It was your idea, Carl, to run the automation, and I know how to build it, but I haven't yet had that idea. So I love it, and I'm going to implement it.
All right, a lot of good stuff here, John. Hey, so so give us that one, like I want a bullet point of these 5 podcasts. Give me the quickest, easiest. I can do this today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How to do that?
Okay, so number one, write a prompt. So simply, and the best way to write a prompt is ask AI how to write a prompt. Don't try and figure it out. So you go into Google Gemini and you say, hey, I want to summarize these 5 podcasts once a week, and I want you to write me a prompt that I can reuse every single week. Here's what I'm trying to extract, and here's why it matters to me. What questions do you have for me? What questions do you want to ask me in order to make this a thorough prompt? And here's the most important part. Ask me one question at a time. And it'll talk. It'll ask you. So I ask AI to interview me all the time. Ask me questions because I don't know what I don't know. I'm not good at writing prompts. I'm getting better. But the reason I'm getting better is because I'm asking AI to help me write the prompt. And I tell it, hey, what am I missing? And what do you need to know from me to make sure that this is thorough? Ask me as many questions as you need, one at a time. Every once in a while, this morning I was doing that and I said, hey, ask me up to 20 questions because it might just go on
It
forever.
never stops. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So that's it. So once you create the prompt,
Okay.
then just save that. And now every week you go into Google Gemini and you paste the prompt. And then you run it. And it literally will give you the output. Phase 2 is make that into a gem. Okay, that's it. Like we can automate it. We can go into all this fancy stuff. But if you're anything like me, the more you try and automate something, the more you never get it finished. Like I've got
I relate to that. Yeah. So, I'm going to add one more step to it. And I think that step would be, and give me at least 2 action items to do today that'll help me bring in more loans and that somebody else could do for me.
Yes.
And my team, who on my team would be the best one to send it to, or something like that, something like I'd say, hey, and give me an actionable item, but that it's biteable. And what I mean biteable, like don't hand me the elephant, just give me a quarter pounder of it. I'm not going to eat an elephant, of course, but you get the idea. Don't give me an elephant. Give me an apple that I can eat. Give me a bite-sized implementation that I can do.
Something that I've used as a little trick when I'm prompting AI is I'll use a reference person or company. And so in what you're talking about here, Carl, I might say, and add what Carl White would say about this. Literally. Because you're a well-known entity online. AI knows who you are. And so if I said, add what Carl White would say about this, now it goes from your voice. And now I've injected into this thinking, hey, I believe in Carl. I believe in what Carl teaches, and I want to make
Mhm.
sure I'm staying consistent to that. So don't send me
Mhm.
down a rabbit hole that Carl wouldn't go down, is essentially what I'm telling the AI as a guardrail.
Mm. I like that. That's very interesting. I like that. Hey, great stuff, man.
Thank
Second
you.
topic here, just for a second.
Yeah.
So, as we're recording this, it's the middle of January. Um, so on Chat GPT, which is probably the widest used, is that
Yes, I
okay?
would agree.
Right as of yesterday, I haven't checked this morning. They're operating off of version 5.2.
Yes.
Dude, 5.2 sucks.
You
It's
think?
it's been horrible for me. That
Okay.
it's really, really, really wonky. And it
Okay.
starts spitting out just this absolute useless garbage. And then I thought, well, is something wrong? So I closed the app and brought it back in. I thought, well, maybe it's just having a hiccup today. And then I tried it again the next day. And then I went back to 5.1, which you have to click on, go to 5.1. And when you go to 5.1, there's two versions of that, quick or thinking.
Yeah.
I went back to 5.1 thinking. It's unbelievably good again. So for me,
Okay.
5.2 has been horrible. Like it'll it'll mix in my business stuff with my personal stuff.
Okay.
Uh, like it'll like I'm a ham radio operator, and I'll say
Okay.
I want to tell a story about this, but I'm trying to think of a way to give a story so they'll remember the message.
Yeah.
And it'll say something like, "Well, if you want them to use the microphone that you're using, you want to make sure they understand." No, I'm not talking. I'm talking to my loan officers, which I made clear. So it's confusing my
Okay.
different. I'm going to call it personality. I got a
Yeah.
hobby personality and I got a work personality, and it used to
Mhm.
keep them completely separate wonderfully. And 5.2 has gotten like I'd have to have only a work version versus
Okay.
a work and personal. I'm sure it's just a hiccup. Maybe it's just on my end. But when I went to 5.1 thinking, uh, it's awesome. Like it's really, really, really good. Because I remember being like, wow, this version 5 is amazing. And then all of a sudden it got really started getting, I don't know, just very like it was, I don't know, like it was hanging out with Snoop Dogg and you know, maybe had a little bit too many adult vibrations going on, and just it just was not like it was bad. It was really, really
Yeah.
bad. So I don't know, maybe it's just mine or
So I have a couple thoughts. One, I haven't experienced that, but that's because I'm pretty boring and have no hobbies. So all I ever talk about is
yeah, yeah,
business. So that could be the case. I use so many different AI. I mean, I'm
yeah,
in Claude, I'm in Gemini, I'm in Chat.
yeah.
So the challenge right now, and again, keeping this really high level, is the race is on, and every single one of these platforms is racing to release the next best thing because
Mhm.
somebody else went ahead, and that's going to be good, and it is good, but it's creating sometimes launching something before it's ready. And 5.0 and how they launched that was a major problem, and people were upset because hey, now you're automatically picking which model and the whole thing. And
Yeah.
so I think we're going to experience that. We're in a phase right now where for the last couple of years we've gotten periodic model releases that were well thought out, well planned out. Now we're in the who can make the biggest headline the fastest because
Mhm.
somebody is Google just released this and a little bit better. Well, then we better fast track. Last month, Sam Altman said, red alert, we got to fast track, we got to get better. That's all good, but running a business, Carl, you can't have everybody in the urgency mode. We've got to get everything done today, or your
Yeah.
quality drops. And I
Yeah.
think that's what
And
we're going to experience during this phase.
that makes perfect sense because that's I've got a software I use on my ham radio. And
Mhm.
I always, one of my radios is actually a computer. It just happens to be a radio also kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And they give updates every month, but I always stay 6 months behind because just what you said, the newest version is wonky, and I don't like wonky. Like
Yes.
I don't, I like something when it's done. So I always stay 6 months behind, but I never have any issues with it. And so it's kind of the same what I'm hearing you
Yeah.
say makes perfect sense. It felt like they released it before they were ready, but understanding the pressure of you got to hurry up and do
Uh-huh.
something.
Uh-huh.
Which a totally different topic. So I was telling everybody on the Breakfast Club the other day. So I've got a Tesla, one of the cars I got, and
Mhm.
boy, that self-driving has gotten amazing. So they just released the newest software to it,
Mhm.
and obviously they can't rush that out or people die, right?
Right.
So without question, and a lot of what's driving it is there's a Chinese company that for the longest, well, since inception of electric car in modern day, Tesla's been so far above the others, it's not even close.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
there's a company in China now, and I can't remember the name of it. There's a company in China making them. They say is real close, real
Mhm.
close. And there's
Mhm.
nothing like good old competition to up the bar,
For sure. For sure.
and so it's yeah, dude, I get in my car and I'll say, take me to John King's house. Take me to John King's house.
Mhm.
And it'll open my garage door. It backs out. It opens the gate to my property, drives through it. It'll go, if I'm going to, say, take me to the closest grocery store, it pulls into the parking lot, finds an empty spot, or it'll drop me off at the front door and go park itself. And yeah, we're in a wonderful time in technology. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that, John, that we literally live better than kings and queens did. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we can fly anywhere
Mhm.
we want to go. We can see anything we want to see. We can eat oranges 12 months out of the year. We can get
Yep.
dates, the date fruit from
Mhm. Mhm.
Egypt.
You get
Uh,
dates online too, both types.
yeah, yeah, both types. So it's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time to do it. I think and you've cracked the code on this. The challenge is to be on the front edge of technology without it being while having it being an actual tool that helps you close more loans and not be a distraction.
Yeah, here's how I phrase that because I was thinking the same thing as you were talking, Carl, which is I like new things. Many times in my career, I've decided, you know what, I really need to understand this. 2015, and I thought, I need to understand how to actually program Salesforce, how to make the CRM work the way I want. And so I bought three
Yeah,
books, I read them cover to cover, and it
on
served
it.
me very well.
Yeah.
Then I decided I need to learn video. Then I decided I need to learn YouTube. Now I decided, you know what? I need to learn AI. Like, I don't know how I'm going to use this, but what the most important piece is that it cannot stop me from doing the basic function of what my business is. And
Mhm.
I've had many students, oh, John, I'm going to dive into that. No, no, no. That's a side job. That is not your main job. You can't have that be just because you see me getting success from doing this. I hold webinars and I teach AI to realtors, and oh my gosh, I'm going to start doing that. Sure, but that can't take consume your main job. That's a side job, and I'll show you how to be really good at that side job. But you can't allow the shiny to replace the foundational things that we know will get us success.
Mm. Boy, there's wisdom right there, brother. I love you, man. John,
Thank you.
I think we got it. I think we pulled it off, man. So, see, the challenge in this topic is to state it in a way that even I can understand. And if you pass that bar, we figure 99% of everybody else can understand it too. So, and I think you did a fantastic job. So you showed us the weeds, but we didn't get lost in it. So I thought it was absolutely spectacular.
Thank you. I
Good,
appreciate
good
that.
stuff, man. Hey, thanks, and hey, and congratulations for your great success, brother.
Appreciate that very much.
All right, man.
Thanks, Carl. Bye bye.
All right, good stuff. Hey, another great place to get some information is on a little meeting that we have. I say little. This meeting that we have, a Zoom meeting we have, it's free to all loan officers. It's called Loan Officer Breakfast Club. When you go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, just tell us where to send the invite to, and we'll invite you. We're there every Monday through Friday from 8:30 in the morning till 9. So before the day gets started, we're there to help you not be a part of your distractions. And so join us there. So go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. Tell us where to send the invite to. It's totally free. And join hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of loan officers across the nation that sign on each and every day Monday through Friday, and just do nothing but just share information back and forth, just like what John did. So make sure you're a part of that. So go check it out. So loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, and I'll see you tomorrow morning on the Loan Officer Breakfast Club.